Welcome to Wishpath Yoga. My name is Meredith. This yoga practice you can do entirely lying down. So you're welcome to do this on a yoga mat on the floor, but you can also do it up on your bed. I'm going to ask you to grab a few props. If you have a yoga bolster, you can grab that now, but if you don't have one, no big deal. You can just use a rolled up blanket in a similar shape or even a big pillow that you have somewhere handy. If you have a yoga strap, you might use one of those. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a belt or a long scarf instead. So when we lie down, we want to check in that our legs are comfortable. So I always encourage people to start lying down with their knees bent. You want to also check how it feels through your neck. Sometimes when we lie down, it feels like our chins are jutting up a little bit higher than our forehead and the back of the neck feels sort of tight. So if you feel that in your body today, then just slide a little bit of a pillow under your head so that your forehead and your chin feel level and the back of your neck feels open. Okay, so once you have your props, just join me in a position lying down that feels good today. So starting with your knees bent and touching one another, walk your feet a little bit wider apart so it feels like the knees are resting into each other. You can rest your hands on your body and we'll just take a minute to check in. So notice your neck. Again, use a little bit of a pillow under your head if you need so that your chin and your forehead feel level to one another. You're welcome to close your eyes to begin. But if that overwhelms you, no big deal. Just keep your eyes open and your gaze soft at a point on the ceiling. And then notice all the points of contact between your body and anything that's underneath you. And relax into the feeling of being held and supported. Notice the gentle movements that are happening in your body in relation to your breathing, and begin to relax into those. If you like, you can set a wish path or intention for your practice. And then if you like, as you inhale, just imagine receiving anything that you need. And with each exhalation, you can release anything you no longer want to hold on to. Good. So gently opening your eyes and making sure your face is turned toward the ceiling. Bring your feet more hip width apart and your knees the same space apart. We're going to start really gently focusing on our feet by lifting the balls of the feet and the toes up and then setting them down. So you'll feel like just your heels are still on the mat. So try this a couple times. You might feel a little bit of stretch into the lower part of your leg. We want to think of all the different parts of our bodies. They're all woven together. Good. Then as you exhale, bring your knees into your chest, keeping them about a hand's distance apart. You can hold on to your shins here. Feel free to have your knees wider apart if it feels more comfortable. And then same action through your ankles, just pointing your toes toward the ceiling and then toward the wall. Good. Gently rolling your ankles a few times each direction. If it's too much doing this with both legs together, feel free to do it one leg at a time. Good. And then gently curl your toes and scrunch them up and then spread them nice and wide. Take a deep breath in and relax. Good. Let your toes soften. Move your hands so you're cupping your kneecaps in your palms and your fingers are pointing toward your toes. Let your knees start to circle away from each other and come back in. So you'll feel this in your hips. Move at whatever pace feels comfortable and keep your jaw relaxed. Make the biggest circles that you can. And then we're going to reverse the direction. So just take your hands and move your knees away from each other and then back in. Slow breaths in and let your exhales be as long as they want to be. Good. As your knees come close together again, bring them so that they can touch and let your toes touch too. And then we're going to circle the knees in the same direction, trying to keep your knees together as best you can. So the movement is controlled by your hands and your arms. So make the grip of your hands relatively firm on your knees. And then we're going to go the other way. Remember to move at whatever pace feels best. Good. Pause. Let one foot come down to the ground so that your foot is flat and your knee is pointing toward the sky. On your lifted leg, shift your hands to hold the back of that thigh. And hug your knee and thigh into your belly and keep pressing down into your sacrum. Press down into your foot that's still on the ground. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Good. And then gently allowing your leg to go just as straight as you need to feel some stretch in the back of your leg. So don't take your leg so straight that there's a tremor or shaking. Just stop when you get that first sensation of opening and length. It might be in the part of your calf or your hamstrings. Now the lifted foot, again, we're going to circle through our ankle on that foot, getting movement into as many parts of us as we can. Go the other way. Good. And letting your ankle be still. With the support of your hands, move your leg just in a very small circle. Keep pressing down through your standing foot. And reverse the direction. Good. Now let your toes point toward the sky and then push your heel up toward the sky. Good. And then think of an arc between 10 and 2 o'clock and allow your leg to travel between those 2 points. Keep pressing into your standing foot so that you don't tip. And let that leg come to stillness. And then if it feels okay through your back, let the other leg straighten along the floor, toes pointing toward the sky. Slow breaths in and out. Good. Let your lifted leg bend again. And then let both knees exhale, come back into the chest. And we'll trade sides so let the other foot stand nice and flat. And we'll just take a minute hugging the lifted leg deeply into the belly. You may feel as you inhale that your tummy and your leg kind of press against each other. Good. And then shifting your hands to hold the back of your leg. Allow it to go just as straight as you need. And we'll roll out that lifted ankle. And reverse. To the sky and then reaching your heel toward the sky. It's back and forth. And pausing the movement at your ankle, allow your whole leg to move in a circle as though you're drawing a small circle on the ceiling with your heel. Press into your standing foot to help with your balance. Go the other way. Keep breathing and keep your jaw nice and relaxed. And coming to stillness, allow your leg to tick-tock side to side. A small arc so you don't tip. Keep rounding through the standing foot. And then coming to stillness wherever feels best. If you like, taking your standing legs straight along the ground, but keeping your toes pointing up. If that creates any strain anywhere, just return to the bent knee. Nice slow breaths in and out. Good. Allowing your lifted leg to bend. Exhale, draw the other knee back into. Now holding your legs whatever way feels best, and with sort of deciding how much space between your knees feels best, let your legs rock to one side and turn your head slowly the opposite way. So we're going to go knees one way, head turning opposite to the knees. And again, it's a very small movement side to side. So you're not tipping at all. Good. And then from center, as you exhale, take your feet to the ground one at a time. Walk your feet as wide as your yoga mat. And let your arms come to the floor, out from your shoulders, palms down. We're going to let our knees drop to one side, rolling to the edges of our feet. Come back through center and over to the other side. So the knees are kind of going like a windshield wiper movement back and forth. Make sure your knees are coming with your feet rolling. You're not trying to keep your feet flat. Go one more time each way. And then from tall, bring your feet back that initial space apart. And we'll lift one leg back up again. And we're going to bring that leg into pigeon. So allow your ankle to come across your opposite thigh. Letting go, let your knee fall away from you. Now you want to check in with that pigeon knee and make sure there's no strain. You might feel this as a stretch in your outer leg or your inner leg. Some of you might feel okay to bring your standing foot up off the ground by holding the back of that thigh in your hands. You can be still or rock side to side. Good. As you exhale, bring your standing foot back to the ground, as well as your palms on either side of your hip. If it feels okay, press into your standing foot and bring your hips up off the ground, trying to keep them level. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your hips back down, and we'll trade sides. So start by hugging the leg in towards you, and then we'll come ankle over the thigh and let go, letting your knee fall away from you to where it can. Never ever push on your knee. And you're welcome to do this pose with your standing foot staying on the ground, or you can hold the back of that thigh in your hands if it feels okay. And you can be still, or if it feels good, which often does for me, just let your hips rock side to side. Nice slow breaths in and out, sighing if it feels good. Great, let's relax down, come back to both feet, one foot on the ground. And sorry, we're going to do our bridge version of pigeon, so letting your hips lift, pressing into your standing foot, working to keep your hips as level as you can. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, lower down. And returning both feet to the ground, so you have about a hand's distance between your feet and your knees. Place your hands beside you. We're going to come into bridge now. So if you are using a pillow under your hip, take it out just for this pose. Okay, breath in. As you exhale, press into your heels and lift your hips up off the ground, making sure the lower part of your back is comfortable and your feet stay nice and flat. Bring your tummy into your attention and direct your breath towards your tummy. Face is only turned toward the sky and chin is away from your throat. If it feels nice, reach your fingers up toward the ceiling and then bring your arms beside your ears, palms facing up. Leave your arms here. Slowly lower your hips back down. Breath in at the bottom. Exhale, lift back into bridge. Arms point toward the ceiling again, and then bring your arms back to the ground. Squeeze your bum. And then exhale, drop all the way back down. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring your knees in, holding the backs of your thighs, and let your knees go as wide as you can. Almost like they're trying to be wider than your shoulders. So option 1, stay low with your feet or lift your feet up. Option 2, holding over your toes, coming into whichever version of happy baby feels okay. Try to keep your sacrum on the ground and move your breath towards your tailbone as you inhale. So if holding the feet is too much, you can use yoga straps or you can hold the back of your thighs, no big deal. Nice slow breaths in and out. Good. As you can, bring your knees back together. And option to exhale and bring your forehead towards your knees. Resting back down. Feel free to use a pillow here behind your head again. And we'll return our feet down to the ground. Okay, so what we're going to do now is grab on to the bolster. Remember, or if you don't have a bolster, you can just use a pillow or a rolled up blanket. You decide what feels right. So I'm going to position it between my hips and my feet and come back down, and we're going to try a supported version of bridge. So when you're ready, take whatever pillow out from underneath your head for this one. Lift your hips up and using your hands, position the bolster so it feels like you're sitting on it. You don't want it in your lower back like that. You just want it underneath your hips so that your hips feel held. So this will bring a sort of open feeling through your lower abdomen and the front of your pelvis. Option 1, you're going to do this with your feet flat, knees bent. Some of you will feel okay to take your legs straighter. Lower back is clear of any pulling. And then with your arms, you can let your palms face the ceiling and keep your hands near your prop, or you can snow angel your arms away. Just wherever feels good. You want a nice sense of ease in this pose. So if you spend a lot of time sitting, this is a nice antidote stretch. You just have to make sure you're doing it at the level that feels comfortable. So you can minimize the size of your prop if it feels too much. Or you can keep your feet flat on the ground, knees bent. As we did in our more active bridge a moment ago, direct your breathing movements towards your belly so you feel a rise and fall there. If that feels challenging, just imagine the movements happening. You can also experiment with how much space you want to have between your feet. Now let your arms snow angel back down. Now you can always pause the video if you want to just linger in this for a little bit longer. When you're ready, let your feet come back flat on the floor again. And one time, let your knees fall towards you until both knees are just kind of hanging in gravity. Now with your thighs really close to your tummy, just allow your legs to go as straight as you need to feel some stretch. You can press through your heels or your toes, whatever feels good. If you want to massage the backs of your legs, you can. Slow breaths in and out. So your knees might be really bent here. It doesn't matter. If you have a stretch, just know that it's all through the back side of your body, starting at the bottoms of your feet, backs of your legs, back of your torso, back of your neck, all the way up over your crown of your head to your forehead. Good. Lower your heels, bring your knees up, and allow your feet to reach up toward the sky. So your thighs are more perpendicular to the ground. Remember, your knees can be bent, and then we're going to go wide with the legs into a V shape. A little bit more stretch in the inner side of the legs. And you can feel free to bring your heels close and far in an alternating pattern. Good. And bring to stillness, breath in. As you exhale, bring your legs back up to the top. With a nice deep knee bend, walk your feet to the ground one at a time. So I'd like to finish with a pose called butterfly. You're welcome to do it up in the supported bridge, or you can return your hips to the ground. Bring your feet together and let your knees fall wide into a butterfly shape. So the bottoms of your feet are touching, your knees are resting to the bolster. You can also do this if you want with your feet up on the bolster. So a few options there to see what feels good. Now with your hands, you can rest your hands on your body, or again, snow angel your arms away from you, palms up. And we'll just do a couple of minutes of breathing meditation to finish. So again, focusing on the feeling of your back on the ground. Feel the support coming into your body from all of your props. As you inhale, try to imagine your inhalation can reach all the way to your tailbone. Keep releasing anything you don't want to hang on to as you exhale. Good. At the end of your next exhale, just let your feet come back onto the ground and then hug your knees into your chest one last time. Good. And then in your own time, just come onto your side until it feels comfortable to sit up. No rush at all. Good. Okay, so I hope that felt soothing through your hips and your lower back. Probably feel how all those parts of you are very intricately woven together. So these are nice stretches to do, just maybe once a day, twice a day. It can also help bring relaxation into your nervous system and facilitate deeper sleep and rest. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.